How hard was your first year of marriage? Any pregnancy scares? Can you tell us the difference between your expectations and the reality of your first year? How is it better than you imagined? It isn't.
It's not. What's up, Wolfgang? Welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time joining us, my name is Kyle.
I'm Kian.
What?
You're just so professional.
Alright, I got this.
No, it's okay.
I got this. Yo, what's up, Wolfgang? How we doing? My name's Kyle, this is Kian, and we're here to just, do a quick Q&A with you guys. Talk about our first year of marriage, answer some questions that you guys sent in, and we're gonna keep it super informal out here. So
casual.
Let's just get into it.
You're talking very loud.
Handsome's crying.
I know, he wants to go get his toy.
What's
Okay,
up,
no,
guys?
we need can't waste the battery like this.
Alright, well then.
We need to just cut this out.
Let's not critique my intros.
Can you tell you're doing it like you're very professional though?
No, it's just me, baby. It's just me. I mean, I got one or two ways. I got like boom or like
Okay, I think they're introduced, so let's get into it.
Are you sure?
We're doing a Q&A about our first year of marriage.
We're gonna try to do a Q&A about our first year of marriage.
Yesterday was our 1-year anniversary, so now we're gonna take some time to answer your questions. This is part 1 of 2. So if you guys want to see the second part where we're going to answer more questions, that'll be on my channel, linked here, there.
Here.
I'm getting cramps. I think my period's coming.
Oh, dear God, help us.
Shall we start off?
Yeah, let's just get right into
Okay.
it. What's the first question?
Shine Glory Chen wants to know, can you tell us the difference between your expectations and the reality of your first year? Expectations versus reality.
Ryan Chen. Coming out strong. That's a good question. What do you think?
I was prepared for you to answer first.
All right, I'll go first. I think I had a lot of expectations that I didn't realize I had in the beginning, but the Lord showed me over time through our marriage, and a few of them were definitely like, this was going to be easy and simple, and I have an amazing wife, and she's going to be perfect.
You thought I was going to be perfect?
Yeah, baby, in my eyes, you were perfect.
Work.
Until we got married.
Work. Really?
Well, listen, we are all flawed,
We
right?
had quite a struggle when we were engaged too.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
You should have realized by then I was not perfect.
Yeah, but I think it was like in my head,
Like
the
marriage
expectation was marriage was gonna make everything easier and better. Like our issues before marriage were just gonna disappear, and we were gonna live this like perfect unified life together with no trouble and no like contrast. That wasn't the case.
I had no idea.
Well, dude, I didn't even have like an idea or understanding behind this, but the Lord showed me over time because I started getting frustrated and bitter, and things were coming up in me when we would get in our intense fellowship or something would happen or not go exactly the way I wanted it to. And then in that, like he was showing me, is like, dude, like it's not gonna be that way.
Yeah.
And it was cool because through that it started chipping away at my hard parts and revealing to me the ugliness inside my own heart. So I think that one of the biggest expectations would be that I thought like all of our problems would go away and it would just be smooth sailing after we got married.
Naive.
Dude, so naive.
I definitely did not think marriage was going to be easy.
Well, you're a little bit more of a realist than I am.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. An expectation I had was that we were going to be like on the same schedule all the time, like waking up at the same time, going to bed at the same time. We were going to have all these like healthy habits together, and you were just going to be the leader of the household right off the bat.
I am the leader of the household.
You are. But I had expectations of what that would look like.
Yeah, and I had expectations of what submission would have looked like on your end. Not to cut you off, go on.
Maybe we'll get into that to another video.
But to answer the question, there were a lot of expectations that we had.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that, it's cool because the Lord, he uses this, and has helped us to die to ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
Due to the expectations that we were like holding on to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you ever feel like roommates living separate lives?
No. Do you?
No, I think because we both work from home, so like it never really feels like we're roommates. We're like, we do a lot of stuff together.
Yeah,
so I
like
could
90%.
never. Yeah, I would never feel like we live a separate life.
Yeah, no. Can't imagine life without you, baby.
Oh, you either.
Oh, so sweet.
Part of it. How is it better than you imagined? It isn't.
It's not. Listen, I imagined it perfect.
So it could not be
So
better.
it can't be better
Yeah, that's true.
than we imagined. Because I imagined it perfect.
Is that as bad as it seems, guys?
No, it's not. And it's amazing.
Well, it's just if we're
It's-
thinking about what we imagined and
Right.
the expectations, it's definitely not better than that. It's better because it's
It's
actually,
sanctifying.
yeah, it's making us more loving in a deeper, unconditional way. That's how it's better. It's just a pain to get there.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yes,
Okay.
but it's so good in the pain.
How long did your honeymoon phase last?
I think it lasted a little while. What do you think? I mean, I feel like people were telling us for a long time, oh, you're just in the honeymoon phase. You know? And that kept going for like probably months.
Well, I think we were in the honeymoon phase in the beginning of our relationship, but then we kind of like, I feel like the honeymoon phase is on and off for your whole marriage.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's not going to go away permanently.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I think we were in the honeymoon phase when we were dating, engaged, and then a little bit later into engagement when we had to start planning the wedding. Honeymoon phase kind of ended for a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And then we got married, and then it like came back.
Yeah,
And
but
then,
since we got married, I think that's the question really is like, how long did our honeymoon phase last for?
I don't know, maybe
So-
like a month.
No, I'd say a few months.
I feel like we had a lot of growing pains the first.
A lot of growing pains, but
After a couple months.
yeah, maybe 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I feel like we're in a new honeymoon phase
Yeah,
now.
because you're just the cutest little munchkin. I
Okay.
love you so much. No, I would agree with that. That's good.
Yeah, I feel like you go through phases.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a good expectation to have, is like you're not always going to feel like so in love and like
Right.
romantic and
Yeah.
passionate all the time.
It's true. It's true. I
It's
actually
gonna
just
go
read
through.
something. It was like a quote. I forget exactly what it said, but it was basically like the goal of a good marriage is to keep falling in love with the person that you're married to, or something like that.
Over and over again.
Like over and over again. And, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, you go through the peaks and the valleys, but to like continue to
Maintain this high.
maintain the high is so unrealistic, but
Yeah.
it's cool to kind of go, I don't know, like realistically understanding how it's going to go and then seeing the opportunities to like fall deeper in love with each other. I think too, we look at the flaws of individuals, we look at the flaws of our partners or a spouse, and it's like, well, it's so hard to love her or him when they're like this. But when you learn to love them in that, like where they're at and meet them where they're at, even if it's in a place that you don't want them to be or it's frustrating, and you still love them in that, like you just grow in how deep your love can go. So I feel like that's kind of an experience that we've had, and
Yeah. That's
It's
a good
powerful.
answer. Did you have any pregnancy scares?
no.
Kyle, did you?
I had one, but I didn't want to tell you about it.
I think maybe there was like one day that I thought I might be pregnant because I
Really?
had a pregnancy dream, and then I was like, that's weird.
You didn't tell me this.
No.
No.
But then my period came like a few days later, so just like
Wasn't worth mentioning.
it wasn't even like a full on like I need to take a test or anything.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I had a dream.
Yeah. There was a seed planted and it started to grow.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. How hard was your first year of marriage?
Super easy.
What would you say on a scale of 1 to 10? How hard was it?
I mean, I would say it's the hardest thing I've ever done. And I've done some hard things. So, shoot, like, I'll say 9. I'm not going to say as bold as a 10, but definitely the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's really hard.
Good answer, babe.
But not everybody's first year is hard. And maybe you'll never have, I doubt that you'll
Yeah.
never have a hard year of marriage. But I think everyone's like cycles are so different. Like
Yeah.
I know a lot of couples like their second year was harder than the first year,
Yeah.
depending like life.
How long your honeymoon phase went.
Just depending on life circumstances,
Right.
you know. I think our first year of marriage, there was a ton, not only changes in our personal lives, but
Right.
in the world.
We got married in the midst of COVID. Literally,
So much political unrest,
so much political
so much
unrest and junk
a
going on in the world.
lockdown, and just so many things happened in our first year of marriage.
Yeah.
So that would, I think,
Not to mention like moving, our personal lives of like moving around and
Yeah.
and you know trying to establish our careers and what we're doing and
just so many changes. So I think
Yeah.
that's why our first year is harder. I think our second year will be an easier year.
I agree.
And then maybe, you know, like when you have a child, that might be a harder year again. So, or maybe
Yeah.
a harder like 6 months or something. But
And then
everybody's different. I don't want to
Yeah.
like label the first year of marriage hard, but I would say it's better to expect it to be hard. And
Yeah.
then be pleasantly surprised.
No, that's a
than
good
to
point.
think it's
That's a
going to
really
be
good
super
point.
easy like Kyle.
Because too, when you look at it from a biblical understanding, and you see like our roles and how we're supposed to live and be and love, and the way that looks is like such a beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful picture of Jesus loving us, right? It kind of sounds easy, like kind of. At least for me, it did. But then when you actually start to like walk in that, and our own emotions and feelings and we have different thoughts and ideas and, view things differently and all of that. Like, then you got to start learning how to die to yourself and sacrificing and, all these things that are not easy to do. And I think that the Lord kind of like threw us into it really quickly, where we had to like deny and die to ourselves in ways we never had to before, which made it, on top of everything else, just difficult. Which, I mean, is such a blessing now looking back on, but I mean, it's been a fun year.
So fun.
Yeah, so fun. No, it actually really has been fun, but
Yeah. What are like some specific difficult parts, like as your role as a husband or as a person? What were like maybe 2 of the hardest lessons you had to learn?
it's a good question.
One of my most difficult things was learning how to respect Kyle. Because I had all these expectations, when those weren't met, I in turn like processed that as being more like disrespectful. And I kind of needed to learn like, okay, how does Kyle receive respect? And it was a lot in my words, and I'm not very good at like words of affirmation. So I think I struggled with that hardcore, and just like things that I would say he would take as very disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I just didn't know how to fix it. And like over time, I've had to train myself to stop myself from talking and saying certain things, because I'm like, okay, Kyle, well, that'll probably seem disrespectful if I say that.
It's good, baby.
That was a hard lesson.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, for me, it was loving her in the way that she desired to be loved, right? Like for Keep Your Love On, a book that we read, respect for men is basically like love for women. It's like correlates in that way. And I think for you, I had an idea of how I should love you, but it didn't necessarily match how you needed to be loved. So as I'm trying to love her, she's still not feeling loved, and I'm getting frustrated, and I don't know why me loving her is not making her feel loved. And it was because I wasn't, giving her what she needed. I wasn't communicating in the way that she needed to be communicated to. I wasn't just shutting up and comforting her when she needed me to shut up and comfort her. There's just, different times for different things, and I think that was kind of a hard thing for me to pick up on, was what you really needed, and to let go of what I thought you needed. So that was a really good lesson, and it is still a very good lesson that I am growing through.
Yeah, it's good. Hey guys, just interrupting this video to say subscribe to Handsome. Hello.
Hello guys, my name is Handsome, and I'm just here to say, if you haven't yet, go push that heart button, like the video, and make sure you subscribe.
Kian.
Busted.
Alright. Interactions with opposite sex. Example, texting opposite sex or hanging out, etc.
She's an issue with this one.
No, I do not. Well, Kyle and I never really had like friends
We've never had friends.
of the opposite sex, like strong, you know, like people we would hang out regularly with, like
No.
especially not one-on-one.
No.
So,
Definitely not. So we
So-
didn't really run into that issue.
yeah.
I mean, I've been going through your phone, so maybe I need to. Maybe we should actually dig deeper into this. No, I've never had an issue with her in that way, and she's never had an issue with me in that way.
Any conflict with the in-laws?
No.
No, we've been
No
blessed
issues.
with great family.
Yeah, definitely.
Adjusting to your own and each other's schedules for the day. Is it a struggle?
I mean, once again, we pretty much do the same stuff. So,
I would say it was a struggle.
really?
Because you would sleep in so late, and I wanted us to like wake up early and like have quiet time together and do all these cozy things, and you wanted to sleep in, and a lot of times you would just want to like go on your phone in the morning.
That is true. That is true.
That was like hard.
It
I feel
was-
like I used to like peek in on you to see if you're on your phone, and then
You used to like spy on me.
and then I would get mad if you were on your phone.
Yeah, that is true.
That was rough.
Yeah.
And then I just had to let go.
You had to let go of the expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And that's the
let him
hard part,
do
'cause-
whatever he wants.
You know, we are individuals, and God works on us, you know, specifically to our own needs, right? So sometimes, yeah, he's calling her like get up and do all this stuff, and at one point he was calling me like to just rest in, you know, his presence and not worry about doing everything I thought I needed to do, and just, you know him, know who I am in him, receive from him, and just walk with him through my daily life. So it's just very interesting. Sometimes, you know, we want it to look a certain way, but if God's calling us to do different things, or if he's putting it more in her heart, like no phones in the morning and not on mine, you know, we ran into that issue one time. But yeah, I think in that too, there is a lesson to be learned, like we talked about before, which is like dying to ourselves and surrendering. It's like, even if I don't feel like God is calling me to do that in the morning, as he is for her, I should still see that, respect that, and do what I can to support her in it, even if it means like, well, I don't want to do this, but okay, I will do it, right? Because this is what you need, and really putting her first and loving her the way that she deserves. So there's a lesson in it, but we definitely had seasons, now that I think about it, you're right, where being on different, you know, schedules did make it quite difficult.
Yeah. Because then we went through it again when it was with trading, and you would be on your phone during bedtime, and I wanted
She
us to
hated
like
it.
because it's harder for me to fall asleep when you're like sitting on your phone.
What? Just close your eyes and don't think about it.
I think it's because more is like I was resentful,
Yeah.
and I was like,
There is some bitterness in the heart.
I was annoyed by like how much time you were spending doing that. Like I felt like it was unhealthy for our relationship, and so it created a lot of bitterness during our like schedules and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But I think too, like in that, God really used it where he helped you to surrender more.
Yeah.
And to let go of these expectations and desire to kind of like control things the way that you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And also helped me to open up more and be willing to not do what I wanted to do, but if this is really bothering her, learn to deny myself, sacrifice it, and, you know, figure out how to support her and stay unified, and kind of lead us in that way. So it has been all good looking back in hindsight, but there were some very rough patches because of that.
Yeah.
But it comes back to the expectations. It all comes back to the expectations.
Yeah, maybe discuss that with your partner. Like
Yeah.
in premarital counseling, if you're engaged right now, on like what are your like, do you expect us to be on the same schedule all the time? What time would you want to wake up in the morning? What does bedtime look like for us? Is it that we have our phones put away? Do we watch a show together? Do
Yeah.
we not have any electronics? Do we read books? Like,
Whatever it is.
like make sure you guys talk about your morning time and your nighttime and meal time. just so you guys can get on the same page, at least to know what the expectations are.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in some areas it was harder, and then other areas it wasn't as hard to adjust.
Yeah, in other areas it was like super easy. We kind of just
Yeah.
meshed together, and it was really nice.
Yeah. Let's do the last question on here, and then we'll do the rest on part 2. Would you recommend living together with a family like what you did first? So if you guys don't know, Kyle and I, we were living in separate states. Then we both moved to Arizona and lived in separate places. And then we had the opportunity to move in with a family friend, basically like my aunt, and we moved, Kian, see.
Hey.
Then we moved into their house, and we lived in separate rooms. So she's asking about, I think we were there for a few months, so if you would recommend that.
I don't know if I'd recommend it. It just depends. It depends on the person. It depends on the couple. It depends on the situation.
Yeah.
We took it to the Lord, and we really prayed on it, and we thought about it, and realistically looked into it and saw what could come from it. And, we made new boundaries and guidelines that we were going to follow, knowing living under the same roof, there could be more temptation and all of that. So I think you just have to really put a lot of thought and prayer into it to see if it is what God's leading you to. Because we did believe God, and we still do believe that God led us to doing that at that time. Mm-hmm. It was like crazy, the doors that were opening, the confirmation we were getting, the peace we had in it. So it really, I think, depends on that. I can't just say here generally, yes, it's a good idea, or no, it's a bad idea. Yeah,
because I've heard it also depends on who you're living with.
Yeah.
Because, we had a very good dynamic, I feel like.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I was excited to have our own place together, but for the most part, it was very easygoing, and it worked out well.
Yeah.
But I've heard of other situations. It was good because they weren't our parents, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Because I think it would have been a little more frustrating, because it's just easier to get frustrated at your own parents.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, they know. That just depends on the situation. Because, if you do have problems with in-laws and you're living in their house, that's going to be stressful.
Yeah.
I would probably say it's best to just live apart, if possible.
Generally speaking, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree.
All right, so that's going to be it for all the questions. If you want to see part 2, we're going to answer more, on our sex life. What else do we got? What annoys us about each other.
I got a few for that one.
Dealing with mental health and all of the things. So if you guys want to see that, head over to my channel and check it out. Yeah, absolutely. But until then, guys, we love you. Remember, Jesus loves you more. Were you going to say it and then you froze? I froze. You froze. I heard the little inhale. I didn't know that you were going to say what you were going to say. Baby, it just comes naturally. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I always say it different. I just say, all right, guys, I love you, and Jesus loves you more. But you were like, and remember. Well, you got to remember. And I mean, maybe you don't even know. So if you don't know, well, then yeah, Jesus loves you guys. Don't forget that. All right. Bye, guys. I'm about to go into preaching mode. Are you done? Okay. Okay. Oh, that's a cute face. Oh, that is a cute face. Look at the cute face.